We're going to talk about the 30-day carnivore diet update in this video. My name is Steven, and I went on this journey 30 days ago. And in this video, we're going to talk about how I accomplished the impossible for a person like me, especially a person who's in his 40s, by losing body fat and getting muscle at the same time. Now, a lot of people can do that, but I shouldn't be able to do that, and how it's fundamentally changed my thought process, my mental outlook, my anxiety, my levels of clarity when I do things in the day. I'm not on any prescription drugs right now. I just woke up about an hour and a half ago. And usually in the past, when I'd wake up, I would have to have a couple of hours in order to be normal again with the world. So this has been such a big sea change shift. I'm not a doctor. This ain't doctor advice. It's not medical advice. Should you do this? I don't know. Should you listen to your doctor? I'm not sure. All I know is that a lot of us listen to doctors in the last few years, and we feel rejected on that. So always consider a doctor as just a person with a highly advanced, educated opinion, and all doctors think different things. So if your doctor is giving you advice that's not working for you, maybe do some independent research, find another doctor, unless you have glaring issues why you shouldn't be eating lots of fat and protein. Maybe this is something you want to try, because as they say, if it's not working, change it up. How's that working for you? All right, so I went to the men's TRT clinic that I go through, and I had blood work done. This was about 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, my A1C was 1 point above normal range. Now, this is actually scary to me. Diabetes doesn't run in my family, and if it did, it would be genetic diabetes. My family is generally healthy and regular weight. Nobody's obese. What this means is that after I hurt my bicep and snapped my bicep up last July, and then basically ate and binge ate the wrong foods, tons of sugar, I put myself into a position where possibly I'm in pre-diabetes mode. So that scared the heck out of me. What also scared the heck out of me was the aches and pains and the fact that I never felt mentally clear ever in the day. I really thought there was something wrong with me. So when I started the carnivore diet, I wanted to address a few things. Number one, I'm a hypochondriac, and I've said this on this channel before. I thought I was either dying, so I better get healthy. And I did the same thing back in 2010 when I went on the ketogenic diet for about a year straight. And back then I went from 230 pounds to 150 pounds. And then I tried to get myself out of the ketogenic diet, went into some fasting, and I gained a lot of muscle and I lost a lot of fat. Now, that's why what's remarkable about the last 30 days is remarkable about the last 30 days because, excuse me, according to my Withings scale or whatever it's called, a fancy scale that you shouldn't really trust that much until you see a trend of numbers because it's just biometric impedance, which sends a little electrical current through your body. Well, according to that, I've lost 4% body fat and gained 4% muscle, and I can see it in the mirror. I'm not going to take my shirt off and show you guys, but since I've been in the gym in times of the past, of the last 20 years, for up to a decade straight, not really missing a gym day, and since I am a person who carries more muscle than most, I'm not getting what they call the newbie gains, which is normal. If you're a person in your 30s or even in your 40s and you change your diet and go to the gym, but you've never done those things before, you will gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. But as you gain muscle, the muscle memory forms, and then your body decides to do one thing or the other, which is why people who are fitness buffs, fitness models, bodybuilders, they'll do a calorie surplus, gain some muscle and some fat along with it. Depending on how they eat, they might gain a lot of both, or do it slow and steady. But then they cut and they lose the fat and they try to retain the muscle. That's how it works when you have been in the gym for a prolonged period of time, but not me in this case. So that was remarkable. And my goodness, I'm going to keep up this trainer rolling. Sometimes I don't get to the gym for a week because work is crazy, but I know that I'm eating fat and I'm eating it and I'm eating more fat than protein. And I just managed to be a better version of me. The other thing is too, sleeping. I can sleep 6 hours, whereas before I'd sleep 8 if I was lucky. And I can wake up after 6 hours and get out of bed and 20, 30 minutes later be like this. Whereas in the past, I would be dragging it throughout the day, just not feeling good. The next thing is the mental clarity of things. The mental clarity is absolutely insane. I'm not on any kind of prescription drugs right now. Like, there's no modafinil in my life. I'll get it later on this week or next week, because I still get weird fatigue during the day, but I think that's something to do with driving and having like driving hypnosis crisis, which actually happens to some people, and it's always happened to me since I ever drove a car. But at this point, I can think clearer, I can stay awake longer, I don't feel like passing out, nodding out in the middle of the day. If I do get tired in the middle of the day, it's a normal type of tired. Little, 8-ounce cup of black coffee will wipe that away. I do have to quit the caffeine. The caffeine is a big problem, but I figured I'll try cutting out all sugars, all grains, all starches, all vegetables all at once, and then move on to the caffeine later on so I don't completely shock my body. And that's the thing about it too. It's like if you're doing this health and wellness kick, you have to make sure that you are approaching it in a methodical sense and fashion. But my brain just seemingly woke up after about 5 days of doing this diet. Now, there are some incredible downsides to this diet. I am still incredibly hungry for sugar, but I've noticed that's environmental and it's largely a trigger that happens because for 7, 8 months straight, I was forming habit loops in my head where I'd be going home and I'd be hungry and I'd stop at Walmart and I'd get an entire box of mini donuts and just chow down. And the whole time I'm lying to myself saying I can deal with this in the future. Yeah, this is totally fine. But no, that's not what it is. You can't deal with it in the future. You have to take care of things right now. So that's one of the big nagging things. The other nagging thing too is electrolytes. Now, in the past, when I've tried to go back to a ketogenic diet, say, hey, I'm going to just eat burgers wrapped in lettuce and all this kind of stuff. In the past, I would always make excuses and the diet would get hard after a few days. And I'd say, well, it's totally cool. I mean, look, any diet that requires me to take electrolytes and make sure I have enough sodium in it, this is a BS diet. What diet should be like this? But the truth is, even if you're doing the standard American diet, you're going to be supplementing with things like multivitamins. And I do take a Now Sports multivitamin. It's got some actual MCT oil in it. So it's like fat soluble because a lot of vitamins don't dissolve unless you have fat in them. And that's why they say take them with food, by the way. And most people don't. And then they don't get all absorbed. So I still take some, multivitamin in the morning. But other than that, my goodness, you're getting enough creatine in your diet. If you're into sports supplements, creatine is something that's in your body, and most of us have a lacking deficiency in it. So creatine is something that's stored in your muscles. It's one of the very first energy stores you use when you do things like get up out of a chair, or go to lift something suddenly. It's a short burst energy source in your body. But when you're eating 2 or 3 pounds of meat, you're getting the same creatine you'd get into a supplement. You don't need to get micronutrients from things because, believe it or not, when you're eating this all meat style diet, your body will do the same thing. And it's just been a big, giant sea shift change in how I approach nutrition and food. And again, I'm not a doctor. Maybe I do this forever, and maybe I don't do it forever. And maybe I add in things that are just grown in nature. But even at the same time, there is the theory that vegetables are toxic for you, and some people react more or less to them. I won't get into that in this video. Maybe we'll talk about it if you guys want me to talk about it. But the theory goes that every single thing, like these cats in my room that are sitting next to me silently, or the coyote running through the field in the house where I live near, they have a defense mechanism to either run away from you or bite you if they feel threatened. Vegetables don't have that defense mechanism, so therefore vegetables may be, when you cut them and eat them, unless you cook them and prepare them, releasing small micro amounts of toxins to try to defend themselves. Now, it's a pretty fringe theory, but there's a lot of science to back this up. It's the reason why Brussels sprouts taste terrible, and there's a reason why broccoli upsets most people's stomachs. So this is just basically an ultimate elimination diet. Now, like I say, if in 3 or 6 or whatever months I start adding things in slowly but surely and trying to see how I feel, Michaela Peterson style, and if you're watching a carnivore video, you probably know her story, maybe I'll get to that level. She did the same thing, but she turns out she's chronically allergic to practically everything, so she's kind of stuck on just eating red meat, salt, and water for the rest of her life, but she feels great doing it. So again, if you're considering this kind of thing, I'm not telling you to do it because that would be grossly irresponsible of me. I don't know your situation. Maybe some of y'all got like a family member of mine and have reduced kidney function, so going on this kind of diet would be detrimental to your health. Maybe some of you guys have some other issues, but this has, oh, by the way, another thing too, this has healed my stomach. Yeah, I used to be chronically constipated all the time, and I would be eating fiber, and I would never be able to solve all that. After about 2 weeks on this whole diet, I mean, everything just seems to heal itself. I don't know. It's bizarre. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but I would say that this is something that has changed my life forever. So 30 days in, we'll see where I'm at in 60 days in. I'll try to do some updates to this channel every week or so because when I first started off, I said I'm going to do an update every single day. But at the same time, feels good, and I hope you guys are feeling good too. So thanks for watching this video update. If you guys are here, all 30 of my wonderful subscribers, maybe share this with somebody else who's looking to make a change. And if it's not working for them, maybe they want to try something different too. All right, so here's to the future, onward, upward. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. I got to click on the button now. Click.